Poppy's is gonna get these 2 bins. Yeah. But Wednesday mornings are manic until a little bit later. My fermentations are gonna go crazy. Just disconcerting. If you're owning and operating the bakery, then you're like so in a pit of trauma all the time about whether you're gonna sell enough bread. In order to keep this business alive, I worked 14 hours, 6 days a week, nonstop for 2 years. Like that's what this took. It's really like pushing the limits of the bakery. It's crazy, but it gets better every day. Hi, my name is Tyler Lee Steinbrenner, and I'm the founder and baker at Anti-Conquest Bread Co, or ACQ Bread Co, based in Brooklyn, New York. I guess ACQ was supposed to kind of prove that you can be an independent maker and still exist on the terms that you set that don't rely on taking advantage of other people, without compromising anything about the practice of it, while still maintaining an engaging level of artistry, for myself at least, and have it be sustainable. It's fun because also I care a lot about how I do everything. It's all curated. It's like the alchemy of science and empathy, I think is really beautiful. Like it's so engaging for me, because it's like a living thing. Like you're touching this like amorphous, beautifully structured like system of glutinous proteins that are holding living organisms that you've cultured over years and years. Like my starters are old, so like all of it's contained in this like wildly feeling thing. But then you like massage and manicure over like 24 hours, and then you make like a loaf of bread and you get to like give it to people. Yeah, I think like feeding people should always be a gesture of care. The point is like keeping it alive and caring for it and investing all of this emotion into it. And then it continuously gives back to you so that you're in like a living relationship with something that feeds you. And yeah, like that's what I get to do every day at the bakery. It's great. I'm trying to learn gentleness from my practice to some degree, and because I wasn't taught it in kitchens. So the menu at ACQ has like primarily existed off of 2 things for 2 years now, which were a wild leavened milk bread using a local organic milk. The crumb, mine is custardy, which is not traditional at all. Super simple Hokkaido style, so it's just about the milk flavor really, as well as kind of a country miche for ACQ sourdough. I probably like rebuilt the sourdough recipe here like 100 times, maybe more, I don't know. So this is ACQ's sourdough, and it uses the majority stone-milled flour, a blend of red fife, einkorn, Glen, and Redeemer. Actually, that's one of the better ones. I don't like to engage in food practices unless it points directly to its sources of organic agriculture. All of the grains that I'm using in the bakery are from about a 3-hour drive generally, maximum, either in Pennsylvania or New York. I mean, I hated wheat bread, like whole wheat bread growing up. And I recognize now it's because it was crap wheat, like, that's it. We need full spectrum food that comes out of the living ground with all of its macronutrients, all of this beautiful, rich soil. That's what it should be. And like, what are we doing? Yeah, recently I released a new bread that I call Living Bread. That was like kind of just thinking about life processes. Do like a light soak on all of the seeds for the living bread to kind of wake them up. These pumpkin seeds are the good stuff though, which makes me happy. It started with sprouting things because I wanted to put a living grain into the living bread for our well-being while living. And then it expanded into adding seeds, like the the things that generate life. So literally, like, that recipe was equal parts bread dough to seeds and sprouts. And yeah, it just has like an overload of all of these stimuli that I think is like, to me, when I taste it, I'm like, wow, this is like so active. It's one of those like bites where you're like, oh, that's fireworks.
Do people tell you you're being too idealistic?
I don't really listen to them if they do. Like, I don't really care. What would I do if it wasn't this way? Like, it sounds terrible. The whole wheat flavors need the slower fermentation to develop the flavor, to balance it. But I definitely have feelings about long fermentation times, caramelization of the crust, an ephemeral crumb that kind of dissolves, but just like an extremely delicate, like, marshmallow. Hopefully, like, if this bread is nourishing, which I hope it is, like, then like it doesn't just have to be about an investment like in myself or whatever. Like, it can actually be an investment in community well-being, right? And like, that's what any good food project should be about, in my opinion.
That's all for this episode of Food Curated. I'm Liza DeGia. Be sure to connect with us on social media and eat more stories. I'll see you next week.